Matt, if you could kind of talk about a little bit about your background, how Petszel came about, and just kind of a little background about the company and your company would be great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity and taking the time today. I've been in the animal health space for close to 30 years. Years ago, helped manage some veterinary practices around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it was in that period that I was able to identify workflow challenges and that could be solved pretty easily with technology. And so I started about 20 years ago this entrepreneurial journey that is now spanned across 5 startups in areas like telemedicine, pet parent communication software, referral management, getting medical records between general veterinary and specialty referral practices. And then, here more recently, and those, we enjoyed, had a lot of fun being entrepreneurial in startup land, and we got to enjoy, a few exits as well to companies like IDEX and Patterson. So fun on the startup and on the corporate side. You learn certainly a lot in those neighborhoods. But yeah, it was I don't know, about a little over 2 years ago, sitting with a colleague who recognized that we were good at connecting siloed areas of the pet vet ecosystem. And this was an individual who is now co-founder of the company, Mike Greenberg. And he's like, there's basically zero integration between the point of adoption and pet and veterinary care. And really everything that has to happen in between to make an adoption successful with home acclimation. And so we kind of dug into that, spent some meaningful time with animal welfare organizations, took kind of the landscape of what they were doing currently, which was mostly manual process, folders going to adopters, or at best, a series of emails with lots of attachments, never really delivered in the key moments that mattered. And we looked at it all and said, all right, well, if we build something better and it's directly integrated with your shelter software, would you use it? And that was last year at Animal Care Expo, HSUS Expo in New Orleans. And they're like, yep, absolutely. This sounds wonderful. Today's adopters want an all-in-one experience. They want things at their fingertips. And so we spent most of last year building Petszel, and then we launched it officially in January of this year, kind of a soft launch the first few months of the year, and then things just began to really explode after this year's expo, HSUS Expo in San Antonio, and we're now up over 100 shelters across the country, and just having a lot of fun. And shelters and rescues of all shapes and sizes. It's been really enjoyable working with quite a variety of organizations.
What has the user feedback been? Have you seen some good responses there? Anything that stands out?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We spend a lot of time getting feedback from our shelter partners, and not just to validate that what they have today works well and that they're happy with it. We've been getting overwhelmingly positive feedback, but also what aren't we doing, and how can we grow the platform? How can we fill other gaps and deliver more value to them? And the animal welfare organizations have been craving something like this that particularly can make the home acclimation period and connections to pet and veterinary care more seamless. So they've really been craving this, and so they're very open to providing feedback and also helping to shape our roadmap moving forward. So a lot of our kind of best ideas, we come up with some good ideas, but some of our best ideas really come from our shelter users, and they've given us the privilege too to talk to pet parents, some of their adopters, which is I think even more important in understanding what the adopter experience is, which has been great to chat with pet parents who previously adopted, perhaps through a more legacy flow, and just to get good positive feedback from them on how everything is now, available right on their device, and it's easy to access, whether it's the medical record they're after or an educational resource, or finding their veterinarian, etc.
Yeah, just being able to have everything centralized, and my background is data and IT, and working with different ERP platforms. I might be siloed, or different applications where they don't connect and talk to each other, and you try to get them to connect with each other. It's a big challenge, right? So maybe you can talk about all the different data streams that have been integrated into your platform that maybe someone doesn't know about, or that you have now, right? From medical records to, I believe you had said to me before, I don't want to steal your thunder, about recommended veterinarians, for example. Kind of just touch on all those cool aspects that are now in one spot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's really what it's been all about, is pulling all these disparate pieces and parts to an adoption into one place. And it all really starts with integrating with the shelter management databases. So there are 4 shelter management systems that make up over 90% of shelters and rescues that use software. And we have near real-time data integration with those, right? So that's where your medical record originates, behavioral notes. Of course, that's where ultimately the adopter information will come from, so you can deliver a personalized experience. And then what we do is, once the pet's been adopted and we've delivered a congratulatory email to that pet parent, we're then able to to put that information, along with the fact we know where they reside, and other information. We can deliver shelter preferred veterinary recommendations, shelter preferred trainers, other services, boarding, daycare. The shelters and rescues are our true north. They get to before, they were putting this information in packets, or again, they were getting buried as email attachments. Now it can all be configured where the adopter has everything in one place. They're also able to shelters can configure their partnerships. Many are partnered with nutrition, pharma, insurance, other companies. They can easily configure and embed those partnerships, and worry less about having to explain them during the adoption process, or worry about handing that adopter a piece of paper. So Petszel comes together, really, like you said, from a variety of sources. I think that the core is what we get out of the shelter management system, but then all that ability to configure it across shelter partnerships, not just nationwide, but local partnerships as well, vet trainers, other providers. And other things we do, like embedding the shelter's donation system, so they have other touch points to be able to pet parents know how they can give back, or the ability to give adopters more information on how to join the mission and volunteer and foster and things like that. Thanks, Scott.